This summer, I'm celebrating 10 years since I moved to Paris. Time really flies. If you're new here, I moved to Paris in 2012 and then spent 1 year in London in 2016 for a work opportunity, and then made my way back to Paris in 2017, where I've been living ever since. So I thought it would be fitting to reflect on some of the life lessons that I've learned over these 10 years that I've lived abroad. Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel, where we discuss all things wellness, self-development, and I share snippets of my life here in Paris. I'm Cecily, an Australian writer and content creator. So let's get into the top 10 things that I've learned living abroad. Number 1, growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Moving to Paris was definitely not the easiest move I've ever made in my life. You have the language, the bureaucracy, the living situation. I was not used to living in tiny apartments. I grew up in Australia, grew up in a house, a medium-sized house, but we had outdoor space, we had a large front and backyard. I was not used to living in such confined quarters and close quarters to everybody else. But living here has shown me how adaptable we are as humans, and also given me a greater appreciation for the luxuries in life like space and garden. Living here has shaped my independence, my confidence in being able to figure things out along the way, even if the situation seems complicated. There is always a solution. You just have to release your stress, relax, and let it in. It would have been easier to move to London initially, as I was going back and forth between which city I should move to, London or Paris, but I wouldn't be fluent in French today. I wouldn't have met the people that I've met or experienced all of the moments here that made my experience so unique and special. Number 2, appreciate things for what they are rather than focusing on the flaws. Paris is not the easiest city to live in. It is not the most convenient or the most efficient, but you can choose to focus on the positive aspects. Practicing appreciation attracts more of what you desire into your life. When we focus on the negative, we encounter more of it. This relates to experiences and interactions with certain people. People act the way we expect them to. Change your expectations and your experiences will change. This is the basic principles behind law of attraction. Number 3, life is meant to be enjoyed, not rushed. This principle is not always put into practice in Paris, which is still a big, busy city, but spending time in Europe has taught me what is important in life. And that is connection with people that you love and time spent doing things that you enjoy. It made me realize how important it is to do something that you enjoy for a living, given that you spend so much of your time doing it, and then to really savor your social and free time. Number 4, a small group of close friends is more valuable than a large group of acquaintances. Making friends in a new city is difficult at first, and it involves stepping outside of your comfort zone, which for an introvert like myself is not the easiest thing to do. I would rather stay home in my comfort zone than go out and meet a bunch of strangers in a bar. So I've learned that cultivating several deeper friendships is more satisfying for me than having a bunch of acquaintances. What counts is having those few people that you know you can count on, that will be there for you when you need them, and those people that you can have a deeper conversation and connection with. Number 5, life is more fun with a dog. This is something I always knew because I grew up with 2 dogs, and in Australia pretty much every family has some form of a pet. But I really missed this during the first 6 years that I lived in Europe without having any pets. Although there was a sense of untethered freedom, I really missed that connection with a dog, that unconditional love, that playfulness, that pure joy and positive energy that a dog brings into your life. So yes, it is a responsibility, but it's also enabled me to be part of a community in my neighborhood and to meet new people and just appreciate and love my dogs every day. Number 6, family is everything. Living 16,000 kilometers away from my family is not easy, even for someone as independent as I am. I haven't seen them since 2019 because of travel restrictions, and it really made me appreciate my family and how easy it was to pop over and visit before. So I am looking forward to visiting at the beginning of next year, and in the meantime my sister and brother-in-law are going to be visiting very soon, which is super exciting. All that to say, as someone who has known a lot of loss and grief in her life, if your family is still around, reach out to them more often, visit them more frequently, tell them how you feel, and show them that you care. Connection doesn't have to be face-to-face, but regular connection is important. Number 7, things might seem overwhelming at first, but become simpler with a step-by-step approach. Often when we feel overwhelmed, we procrastinate. That's usually how it goes for me anyway. If I feel like I don't know how to do something and the solution seems complicated, or I don't have the energy to research it, I will put it off for another day. But sometimes all we have to do is take the first step, and then you'll find that the inspiration and information will make its way to you. A book will be recommended to you, or you'll hear something in a podcast that relates to your project and will give you a lead on what you need to do next to move forward. So this message is as much for me as it is for you. Just start whatever it is that you're putting off and let things unfold naturally. Sometimes I think that this sort of procrastination is linked to deeper beliefs of unworthiness that stop us from pursuing a project that we're afraid to fail at or don't believe that we can succeed in. So if that's the case, realize that anything you desire is possible for you. That is why you desire it. And you can't squash desires once they are born. Whether it's moving abroad to Paris or somewhere else, or starting a family or a business, it's all possible. Number 8, you are capable of more than you think. Follow your intuition and do things that you're passionate about. This flows on naturally from my last point. Learn how to listen to your intuition and take inspired action rather than being motivated out of fear. They are two different energies. One is an energy of expansion that's being inspired to take action, and one is motivation to do something to avoid pain rather than being inspired to do something and going towards pleasure. So spend more time doing things you enjoy. Take time to learn new skills that might result in a more exciting career path, and just wait to see how new opportunities will pop up. If I had overthought moving to Paris and done the research prior to coming over, I might have talked myself out of it. Instead, I moved here at 22, broke, bright-eyed and naive, and even though it wasn't the easiest, everything ended up working out. Number 9, everyone should spend time healing, releasing their past traumas, looking inwards, meditating, reflecting, seeking therapy. Last year I spent a lot of time in reflection, learning about spiritual practices and concepts, unraveling my childhood traumas, figuring out why I felt stuck and why I felt so much resistance within myself. I dealt with issues of self-worth, self-confidence, grief, loss, abandonment, and I looked at how these affected my life, my relationships, my career. I finally shed some limiting beliefs that were holding me back from living the life I had dreamt of for years. It does take time and regular practice, but it has changed my outlook on life and how I direct my time and energy today. Everyone should dedicate time to inner reflection and healing, so you don't end up projecting your issues onto others. And finally, number 10, travel is worth its weight in gold. The unforgettable experiences that come from travel are irreplaceable. While it can be an escape from your regular life, it can also be an opportunity to discover new cultures, ways of life, landscapes, food, languages, experiences. Travel is so important to me, and it is one of the reasons why I love living in Europe. It is so easy to hop across the border for a weekend and experience a different culture with only a 2-hour flight or train. It's so accessible. It's something that I want my future children to experience from a young age, so that they understand the importance of respecting other cultures, experiencing the traditions of other cultures, and learning new languages. Looking back now, I feel like my 22-year-old self was wiser and more intuitive than my 26-year-old self, who was trying to fit into societal norms and build a regular career. And my 33-year-old self is starting to listen to her inner being again, and it feels so good. So please, if you are currently caught up with following societal norms, realize that there is no real normal, only what feels right for you. Well, that wraps up today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found it helpful and thought-provoking. If you're interested in seeing what it's like to live in Paris, please let me know in the comments. I can create some more focused videos around Paris, maybe a day in the life or tips for traveling here or moving here. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love you to hit the like button. And of course, you're always welcome to join this little internet community by subscribing. I hope we can build a space for thoughtful discussion. And so I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!